What's going on YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by today. Today's video is going to be for you newer buyers of the Peace and Morgan Silver Dollar. I was looking online and I noticed no one's really done a video like this as of late. A lot of the videos for someone that wants to reference collecting numismatic silver dollars, primarily Morgan silver dollars or Peace silver dollars, they're all kind of older videos, and they're older videos from a lot of silver stackers' perspectives, which is fine 3 years ago, but now we obviously have modern silver dollars. So this is basically going to be a video about the coin things that you can use to collect, the different styles or types or ways that you can collect your silver dollars, as well as some of the tools that I use, that I recommend that you use to go through your collection and also authenticate some of your coins. So the main reason I'm doing this is because this Peace dollar here is the very first proof Peace dollar that is available to the public from the US Mint. This just came out, and what you're going to find is that when you get this, and you can still get it from the US Mint today, it sells for $80. And if you're watching this later on, they minted 400,000 of these. So it's plenty available to someone that wants to get into collecting coins. This goes for you younger collectors or you older collectors that haven't really thought about collecting coins or haven't touched the collection in 10, 20 years because you got other stuff going on. So just to kind of show you the beauty, it's always something that gets a collection started. And this Peace dollar from 2023 is a great way to get started back into the hobby, or get into the hobby for the very first time. So this is the actual item from the US Mint. It comes in a capsule, and this particular item is 99.99% silver. And there's the mint mark, San Francisco, down there. Beautiful depiction of the bald eagle holding an olive branch, and thus constituting peace. And this is Lady Liberty on the front, and then we have 2023. So this is an actual proof version, and what determines a proof version is the mirrors in the fields. So see, you can see my finger through the reflection of the coin. That's considered a proof. So this is kind of a double way of collecting. It does have silver value. So at bare minimum, if no one wanted to collect this coin and everyone thought it was boring, it's made out of 99.99% silver. So it's 1 ounce of pure silver. So worst case, you'll never lose what the value of 1 ounce pure silver is. And I think at the filming of this video, we're around $22 for an ounce. But for $80, this is a steal. They're probably going to be going for $100 or more. And who knows what this will be selling for in the future if you're watching this later on. Here's the certificate of authenticity. And this is our lovely US Mint product boxes that it comes in. Now they also make a Morgan silver dollar and a proof. And again, this just came out. This is again the very first time the US Mint has made a modern Morgan silver dollar. And again, that has the San Francisco Mint on the bottom. And again, a very beautiful coin. Again, this sold from the US Mint for $80. And by the time you guys are watching it, whether it's soon or later on, this coin is going to continually go up in value because they only made 400,000 of these. And again, that was minted in the San Francisco Mint. And prior to these, they also released an uncirculated version. So this is the uncirculated Morgan silver dollar that does not have the mirror fields. And this one sold for, I believe, $76 when the US Mint released it. And I actually can show you the coins side by side. So you can see the difference. So this is the uncirculated version that's made in the Philadelphia US Mint, and this is the San Francisco version. So again, proof is going to have frosty, or they call it cameo, and a mirror field on both sides of the coin. And again, the uncirculated is also 99.99% silver. So worst case, you at least have silver value based on these coins. And I do recommend you keep these in the capsule. You don't want to take these out of the capsule, especially if you're younger. You're just going to scratch them or get them dirty. Leave them alone. Leave them in the capsule. You can play with them with the capsule. If you want to scratch up the capsule, go right ahead. At least you're not scratching the coin. But these capsules are difficult to find. They are only made for the US Mint. You can't just walk into a coin shop and say, hey, I scratched my capsule and I want a new one. They're going to give you something that kind of fits it, but it's not going to fit perfectly back into your box. And when you're collecting these as well, you want to take very good care of your boxes. You want to store your coins where they're not going to get wet or moist. And you want to keep your boxes nice, because in the future, if someone wants to buy this from you, or if you want to show loved ones or other family members, you don't want the box to be all messed up. So do keep them stored in a dry place. If you're not going to look at them all the time, I would also recommend getting like a little sandwich bag that you wrap your sandwich in, one of those Ziploc bags, and you can seal this up to prevent anything from getting inside of it. And this doesn't take up a lot of space. It's very small. So should be able to find a nice, safe place to put them in, but also you want that place to be environmentally controlled up to a certain degree. Now, if you can't really control the moisture, if you're going to put it inside of a shoebox or something like that, I do recommend getting the silicone packets, or just grab the silicone packets out of stuff like, if you have a pair of gym shoes, sometimes there'll be like little silicone packets in there. And again, those are designed to prevent mold from growing, and you can definitely reuse them and store your coins with it. And again, those little silicone packets will just keep your phone, or your coins dry and from getting tarnished. And here is the uncirculated version of the piece dollar. And while I'm making this video, I might as well show you the proof dollar side by side. And I don't think anyone's done this either yet. So no, I don't think anyone's compared the two coins side by side. They're all like showing their collections, but no one's really showing the two side by side, because a lot of people that got this already sold it. So here is the proof piece dollar, and here is the uncirculated piece dollar. Now we're not going to get into dates and numbers. That's for you to discover yourself and learn about. Plus, if I tell you certain dates and things like that, it's not really going to matter in this video. So this video is, again, going to be more concentrated on just showing different ways to collect coins, and some of the tools, like I said, I'd recommend that you pick up, especially if you're going to get into the older ones. Okay. So with these modern coins, there also are going to be coins that come in slabs. Now, I don't have any examples of the new modern coins in slabs, but there also was a prior, not last year, 2022, but 2021, they did release the piece silver dollar. That coin was probably around 86 bucks, 85 bucks brand new. Right now, it's probably worth closer to $250 in this state. So pretty cool in 2 years. If you bought this coin for 80 bucks or 86 bucks, and now you can walk into a coin shop and they'll pay you $200 for it, that's pretty outstanding. And the same goes for some of the Morgan silver dollars from before. And there's one that's made by the Denver Mint that's a little bit more expensive, because the US Mint did a pretty bad job of making a lot of the coins. So if you find, or if you have access to a 2021 Denver, which will have a D on the back of the coin, those are worth a little bit more if they're in perfect condition, and if they're professionally graded, Mint State 70, that's the perfect grade, or Mint State 10 if it's NGCX, that's one of the newer grading standards. They're trying to make it closer to like baseball cards, which is fine. That coin is going to be worth at least $800 to $1,000. They're very expensive because the US Mint messed up a lot of them. So again, 2021 is when they released the modern Morgan. They did a Philadelphia, San Francisco, New Orleans, Carson City, San Francisco, and Denver. And then for the piece dollar, they just did one version, which I guess is made in Philadelphia. But they did not make proof dollars, proof versions of these coins. And later on this year in 2023, they're going to make a reverse proof set that's a Morgan and a piece dollar. And I think every year thereafter, they're going to continually make them because it is the most popular collected coin, I believe, around the world. Now, if you're going to, what a lot of people that get into these modern ones, if you're buying it for the first time and you fall in love with the design, you can easily pick up nice coins that have historic value. And this one here is the very first year that the Morgan silver dollar was made, which actually was in 1878. And I'm going to take it out here. And I'm going to show you how to authenticate a Morgan silver dollar. So first off, when you're looking at the coin itself, it should not look one-dimensional, meaning it should have a different eye appeal. It should look different. It should create, they call it a cartwheel. When you're rotating the coin, it's supposed to create a cartwheel of light, which it's hard for me to reproduce that, but if you can kind of see the lights turning. And then when you're grading these, or if you're looking to get them graded, it's all about condition. And what you're looking for is marks on the cheek, marks in the fields, and you want to stay away from the ones that have damage. So those would be like scratches, or if someone took an eraser, or back in the day they used to take these motorized or wire brushes and just brush the coin. That's considered damaging the coin, and you're never going to get more money for them. Now, some of them might look really, really nice and shiny, but that just means somebody has altered the coin. So you don't want to buy anything that's clean or polished unless it's a very hard to find date and you have no choice and it's within your budget. By all means, buy a clean coin. But this is the very first year that the Morgan silver dollar came out, and I'm going to show you how to authenticate it. And it's the same way you'd authenticate the piece dollar. So it's basically from 1878 up to 1935. This way of authenticating is going to hold true. So first off, the easiest, I think, and the coolest way to authenticate a coin is to ping it. So what you do is you hold the coin like this, and it's going to make a certain sound. So I'll put that by my mic so you can hear it. Do that again. So it's a very distinctive ping, and you can also purchase an actual, they call it a pocket pinger if you want to, and it creates a certain frequency. But basically, all you really need is one authentic coin that you keep on in your possession. Listen to that ping. Unless you're deaf, you're definitely going to hear a distinct pinging or tone. And if you have a fake one, and I don't own any fake ones, it's going to sound weird, or it's going to sound very flat. So there's definitely, that's one of the quickest and easiest ways to authenticate a coin. Now, if you have time, or you bought them and you still want to go to further authentication, when you weigh these, you can get a simple scale like this. I think I got this from Amazon for like 15 bucks. I've had it a few years. If you want to set it to grams, and your Morgan silver dollar should read at 26.8 grams. So let me zoom in there for you guys. So if your coin weighs 26.8 grams, that's excellent. If it pings and it sounds correct, that's excellent. And if you further want to authenticate, you can also get one of these digital calipers. Again, not very expensive. I think 10, 15 bucks on Amazon. And if you're doing, if you're from Europe and you're doing millimeters, you're going to be around 37.8 millimeters, and then around 38 millimeters. And then if you're doing inches, like here in America, you're going to be 1.5 inches in diameter. Another easy way to authenticate a Morgan silver dollar, especially the older ones made prior to 1921, is they're going to have very distinct ridges on the coin. So let me see if I can show you that. Okay. And what you don't want to see is a flat, straight line on each side of the ridges, meaning you want the ridges to be open. See how they're open there? Meaning the valley, this part here that's like shaped in a V, you want that to continue outwards of the coin. You don't want there to be a hard line there. So meaning if I looked at this coin on the side, and if I saw a hard line on the left and a hard line on the right, meaning these valleys are basically encased in two lines, and the lines aren't as thick, they're like thinner together, that's a manufactured coin, a fake one made in China. Now your 1921s are going to look like that, but anything prior to 1921 is not going to have that. Here, I'll show it on this 1886. See, these have worn ones, but there's not a dedicated line. You don't want to see deep lines on each side. And then this eagle is going to look a little different. So the 1878 is the only one that has a distinctive looking pushed in eagle breast. And then this one's going to have, everything beyond that is going to have breasts that are extruding or pushing outwards. Now you can collect these coins raw in this state, and if you do collect them raw, I would highly recommend that you pick up an actual professional album to store your coins in. So this one here is a company originally it was out of California. They moved to Washington prior to the pandemic, and these are called Dansko Albums. They have a very specific number on them, and they're really nice albums. And what makes them super nice is that they actually have non-plastic holders that you can place the coin in, and then you can display the coin on either side. So let me make some room here, and we'll show you how to do that. So let's take our 1878, and then let's place that in this album in the 1878 spot. So what you do is you fold it out here. See how it's not glass, it's basically a non-plastic material. Place your coin in like that, and then you just push the protective piece over it. And that's how it's going to look in your album. Let me go up a little bit more here. See that? And it's protected. And then you can also look at the reverse. It's upside down, but that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. So these albums are really nice, and it allows you to basically fill in all the gaps if you want to collect every single year, every single mint mark. So the O is going to be New Orleans, S is going to be San Francisco, CC is Carson City, and there's only one D, Denver, which is 1921, which this particular album won't show up. And what I also like about these albums, it's actually going to show you how many were made. So very, very nice way to collect coins. Again, they don't make them in Los Angeles anymore. But these albums are worth a pretty penny. They're pretty much for sale. If you can find a nice one at your local coin shop, sometimes they'll charge usually $5 per page. So like a book like this would be about 20 bucks. I do occasionally run across them, and I do sell them in my eBay store. I'm going to put a link to my eBay store in this description. And then if you guys have questions about some of the coin stuff, the coin supplies, I'll show you that as well. Now, another way you can collect silver dollars is by purchasing them already graded. And in this case, this is from the PCGS company. They came out in 1986, and this is actually one of their very first holders. So this is what's called a Rattler holder. So there is no UPC, there's no hologram. But if you find older coins like this in these older holders, they actually have a little bit of a premium to them because a lot of these were cracked out and put into more modern ones like this. But I would say PCGS is probably one of the stronger of the grading companies that people trust and go by their opinion. The other one is NGC, and then there's two others, Annex and ICG. So see how this one has a hologram and also has some kind of UPC. This one's a little older too, but this is what they did in 1986. And they call this a rattler because typically when you see the coins inside, they'll be turned around. And I don't know if I can recreate that here, but I can start turning the coin. Well, I'm not doing a very good job of that. Other things I recommend are if you're going to be purchasing slabs, you want to purchase actual bags that protect the slabs themselves. And I should have some here handy. So I get a lot of my supplies from Guardhouse. So this is a coin slab protector bag. So it holds NGC and PCG slabs. So I'll just show you how that works here real quick. So let's say this one's all screwed up, looks terrible. They're not very expensive. They're less than a penny. So you don't really want to store your slabs raw like this because as you get actual holders and you put all the coins in a certain method, which I can show you here. So these are the actual boxes that you can also get from your local coin shop. They're usually very flush with these, but if you don't have a local coin shop, you can buy them, off of eBay. And basically they're designed to hold each coin. And I've got all mine in plastic, so there's the actual slots here. And that's a nice fun way to store slabs. But you want to put this plastic around it so as these coins are in these holders, or if you're taking them out to look at them, if you don't put any plastic layer around it, eventually this surfaces will get very scratched or marred or marked up. And it's not going to be very attractive, and it's also going to be very hard to see the coin beyond the scratched plastic. So I recommend getting slab bags. And I'll show you how that goes on. So you just take your slab bag. This part here is an adhesive, and you want to put it with the coin away from you. Should I do that upside down? It's hard to do that when you're doing this on camera. So you want it like this, and then you just take your part here, and then you just want to fold it nicely. And then that protects your slab. And I've already wrapped it on this one. On these older ones, it kind of is like an oversized, but again, it's better than nothing. And then you also, when you're buying these from dealers and stuff, sometimes they'll put their stupid stickers on there or their inventory numbers. You actually want to have some alcohol, spray it on the sticker. Do not use a lady's nail polish remover. It will absolutely destroy the plastic and make it cloudy and nasty, and you will completely destroy the slab. So just use some alcohol. Don't scratch it. You can use your nail. Your nail's not going to scratch the plastic, and you can remove any sticker residue off of the coin or off of the slab itself. Another thing I recommend another way you can authenticate coins, because a lot of the fake ones that are made in China or other third world countries, is you want to get a very powerful neodymium magnet. And this one here is made in Oregon. I got this from Amazon. I did not want to buy one that was made in China because I didn't want a fake magnet in it either, and I didn't want this thing rusting. I've had this thing now for 3 years. I keep the rubber part on it, but there is an actual magnet underneath. It's so powerful though, you don't need it. What I like, it has this little rubber thing on it so you can actually touch the coin for authentication purposes, but obviously it's very strong. Like I can almost pick up the scale even through the plastic. So it's real. It's a real magnet. So I do recommend that as well. The other thing I recommend too is these little holders. They're very nice to display coins or to take your slab and display it like that. And another very important part of coin collecting is the ability to be able to see. So let me grab a coin here that has a special designation so you can see what to look for here. And we're going to compare it to a regular one here. Okay, so both of these coins are made by the New Orleans Mint, and they're very close in age. One was 1879, one is 1880. This one is a micro O. Now, if you can't see this with your naked eye, because some of us are not the best at looking at things, you could see this O mint mark here in the bottom is larger than this smaller, rounder one. And that's because this O mint mark was actually originally designed for the Barber quarter, not the Morgan silver dollar. So around this time, 1880, they also had Barber series quarters and halves. So the Barber mint mark was accidentally used on this. Now, if you still can't see the difference, we're going to show you this through an actual loop. So this loop is a made in China one. It's not very expensive. I bought this originally because I thought it was cool because it had like little lights and stuff like that, but it's annoying because these batteries wear out and a lot of times you'll just leave the light on and then you'll burn out the battery. I don't recommend getting with the battery. I recommend just getting a nice jeweler's loop. But if you want to get one on the cheap, you can pretty much pick one up for, you know, $10. Again, the goal is just to get magnification. All right, so let me take my camera. We're going to go 3.5 times zoom. So here's the mint mark here, which is zoomed in. I mean, if you don't have one of these, you can always use your cell phone too. Just hold it steady. But now we're going to use the actual loop through the cell phone, and now you can really see that mint mark. So this is a micro O. See how tiny the O is? And let me show you a regular O, which again stands for New Orleans. See how that's bigger and it has kind of a more vertical opening. It's not like a little pinhole on the O. Again, here's the micro O. Okay, so if I didn't notice that this had a micro O and I was just, you know, in the coin shop, because the micro O, the VAMs, so it's a variety. Not all of them are going to have micro O's. This one's worth a little bit more than one that does not have a micro O. So these are little things that you will learn as you're going through the different series. Other things to look for too, especially on the older coins. If any of them have mirrors in the fields, that's very, very rare, but don't get that confused with a completely polished coin. So you don't want to see a lot of reflectiveness on Liberty or the Eagle. It's okay to see a little bit, but you wouldn't want to see a very strong reflection on the Eagle. You want to see some of that frostiness. So again, that's a very nice coin and something to look for. And then the other thing, which a lot of people overlook, is actually properly storing your coins. So if you're not buying slabs or if you're not buying modern coins that are already in capsules and you're not putting them in actual albums, this is the piece dollar one here. If you're not putting them in actual albums, you don't want to just have these coins sitting in a roll like this because they will tarnish and they will basically get damaged and they'll bang into one another. So what you want to do is you want to pick up, they're called Mylar. They're unplasticized vinyl holders. And this is what they look like. This is a 2x2, which really barely fits. I mean, it's okay. I've seen a lot of people put like, Morgan silver dollar, but there's not a lot of room in there. So for the larger dollars, I would recommend you get a 2.5 by 2.5. So this is a 2x2 by Guardhouse. This is a 2.5 by 2.5. And I also recommend getting the ones with the paper inserts so you can actually write what type of coin it is. And if you want to write any information in the back, like how much you paid for it, things like that will help you with your collection. So hopefully, guys, this has modernized how to collect Morgan silver dollars, peace dollars, or any silver dollar in general. And I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And check out my channel for other interesting information about collecting coins. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.